Hello. Each day I've been putting my hand up, and each day you've answered the questions I had. And today I thought, we'll just see what happens. And what I did notice as I came from lunch to come here, that we didn't hurry, we didn't worry about it, we just walked straight in at perfect time, got the exact seat I wanted, and here I am.
Because things are always working out for you.
Yes.
But more important, because this is of no consequence to them, because they can't feel exactly what you were feeling on your way to knowing that it would unfold this way, but you can. In other words, answering your question is always a delightful thing for us, because it's our way of rendezvousing with your powerful intention. And there is a certain confirmation that comes to you when your question is answered from afar like that. But when you have a deliberate intent and you have been measuring, as you were, your level of resistance, and then you have an outcome that is pleasing to you, you have a knowledge then that words, while they can confirm, cannot give to you in the way that the experience did.
Yes,
very good.
Yes.
And as long as you're here.
Yes. I do have a question. At least one. I'm wondering if the food that Esther eats affects your ability to flow through her. In what way?
Nothing that Esther does at this point hinders our ability to flow through, because she has practiced her open vessel long enough, and the power of your summoning is significant enough that there isn't anything that she could be doing that would hinder it much. Not in a noticeable enough way that you would notice. Esther can feel when she's flying high. She can feel when she's resonating with the height of the energy that is us. She loves that sensation of seamless translation, you see. But you would not be able to tell. What brings forth your question?
Well, I'm wondering if, I've always seen myself as being at some stage, being a healthy, fit, fully functional 100-year-old. And in order to reach that state, am I just simply attracting the elements that I need?
In order to reach that state, what you really need is energy alignment. And of course, if you believe that something is inappropriate and you are eating it, then you do not achieve energy alignment. But we want to put it to you in a very straight way that you will hear it clearly. What you eat is irrelevant in relationship to energy. What you believe about what you eat makes itself relevant in your energy alignment. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
It's true of everything, you see. That's why we want to show you, and have been showing you, and you've been catching on to it. It's been quite nice to see. As you've been practicing a thought that is detrimental to your alignment, and you take us at our encouragement and you begin to deconstruct it by getting more and more general about it, so that it has less and less pulling power, so that your vibration raises, so that the pulling power of your vortex then takes on more relevance, then what happens to you is you just naturally gravitate to all things, to all conversations, to all situations. And in doing so, you allow your physical apparatus to do what it was born to do. The trillions of cells in your body know how to maintain their balance and do, unless you are hindering with resistance that you have practiced.
So any health issues that I have, I've simply created an expression of the resistance that I've had at some stage.
What you're thinking, therefore vibrating, the energy that is your point of attraction, and what manifests always matches. There's another way of knowing what's going on vibrationally before it manifests, and that is how you are feeling emotionally. But once it manifests, now you are often having a response to what is manifest, a noticing response. So that is why we are taking the tack that we are on this wonderful gathering over these last few days, where we say to you, so you have a situation or a condition that is not wanted, but nevertheless you have it. And as you identify it, as you take pictures of it, as others document it, they don't deconstruct it, they construct it. They give it more life. They give it more vibrational relevancy to you, you see. And as more vibrational relevancy is given to this thing you do not want, your point of attraction contains more of it, and more things that match it come to it. So the things to eat that encourage it occur to you. The people who talk about it are encouraged to you. Law of attraction brings to this vibrational center more and more to construct it further and further. And of course, the whole time you are constructing something unwanted, you are launching rockets of desire about what you do want. That's the thing that we so much want to help you understand. As a problem is coming into focus by the construction conversation, you know how it goes. You have a dinner conversation, you're thinking about it, then you speak about it, then others chime in about it, then they start talking about it and before you know it, you've got a whole big, deep, dark conversation going as you're constructing more of this thing that you do not want. But in the constructing of that side, that unwanted side of the equation, you are simultaneously launching rockets of desires of what you do want that are going into your vortex and are being tended by the broader part of you. So the whole time that a problem, or even a question, but let's talk about a problem, is coming into focus, the solution is too. But you don't have access to the solution as long as you've been beating the drum and you are more actively involved in the construction of the vibration that supports. Are you getting it? There must be vibrational support for anything. That's why your planet continues to be the consistent jumping off point for so many more. That's why in your dream state it is sort of random, but in your wake state you have consistency. It's because as the masses of people on this planet, you observe enough and converse enough that you keep the vibration enough that it keeps the stability going on. You've got a stability of what is going on. A stability of what is that you might for the most part want to keep going on, but a stability of what is that in some regards, like physical dysfunction, that you don't want to keep going. So what we are suggesting, you're getting this, aren't you? What we're suggesting is that as you deconstruct those conversations, as you make them more general, less specific, as you de-emphasize them, as you play them down, as you look less specifically, as you go less often for checkups, as you look for confirmation from others less often, as you talk about it less, as you think about it less, as you move into more general conversation about it, what happens is the more general you get in the deconstruction of what you don't want, the more specific you begin to get in the construction of what you do want. Because what you do want is alive and well and calling you to it. But you have to reach this point. There is a tipping point for all of you. And that tipping point, when the vortex of what you do want, where the solution has already been created vibrationally, begins to call you and inspire you and affect you and show you manifestations, that tipping point is once you enter the vortex and you maintain your vibration in the vortex for a period of time. You don't have to stay there all day, every day. But you reach the point, you'll know you've reached the tipping point when it's annoying to bring up the conversation of what is not wanted. And you'll know who's on to this. You'll know who's good at it when you hear them try to generalize everything negative that you say about your issue. When you say, oh yeah, I have this thing, would you like to see it? They'll say, no, not really. When you say, I've been wondering what it is, they'll say something like, oh, well, stop worrying about it. They'll say something like, I wouldn't give my attention to that if I were you. Please pass the bread and butter. And then you say, I'm not certain that bread and butter is really the thing that we should be eating. Are you? And they'll say, what time is it? And you'll say, I'm not sure we should be eating these certain things. And then you look around and you notice that there are all kinds of people eating all kinds of things. A lot of people eating the same things, some thriving and some not. In other words, what you are eating is irrelevant. It is your vibrational relationship. Everything is a vibrational relationship between the solution that you have created and the problem that helped you to create it. So when we're talking about deconstructing thought, we're talking about generalizing the negative and emphasizing the positive. But here's the interesting thing about this. If you take us at our word and immediately say, I'm going to immediately turn everything that is negative into something that is positive, without meaning to, you make it worse because you're not vibrationally prepared to do that. What's active in your vibration is something different. Now you're just adding lip service to it, and even though you've got a smile on your face and you're trying to say good sounding things, you're still amplifying the vibration that is dominant within you. Can you hear that? So what you want to do is meditate your way into non-resistance, or bask your way, or swim your way with the dolphins, or get someone to rub your feet away. In other words, put yourself in a place where you are not emphasizing any longer. You have been trying to wrestle your problems and your illnesses and your issues to the ground to try to kill them. And it's time for you to understand that every bit of attention that you give to them is the construction, the reconstruction of unwanted things. And you can tell by the knot in your belly, you can tell by the pain in your foot, you can tell by the discomfort that you feel, you can feel by the uneasiness that you feel. You can feel when you are constructing something unwanted, and you can feel when you stop doing that. It starts feeling like relief. It starts feeling like ease. It starts feeling better. We want you to know that your work really is about focusing. And when we talk about focusing, it is an art to allow. It's an art to allow what's in your vortex. And most people, you know, in fact, many of the people who are on board with us here today are not up to speed with what's in their vortex. But you are making headway as you are releasing your vibrational attachment to what you are not wanting. That's as clear as we've ever said it.
Thank you.
Did you hear it? So, is deconstructing thought what we're really rooting for? Not altogether. Deconstructing unwanted thought, which allows a reconstruction of wanted thought. But what's the engine behind all of this? In other words, are you the engine? Do you have the tools and the hammers? Is the construction really the way construction sounds like? Or are you the holder of the vibration that allows or disallows, you see? So Esther has been asking for a long time, Abraham, I get it. I get how I can allow what's wanted, and I get how I can disallow what's wanted. But it seems that there are a lot of us that are actually creating and giving energy to what is not wanted. And we say, you get what you think about, whether you want it or not, you see. So when you decide that you're going to start paying attention to the way you feel, and anything that doesn't feel good, you just back off from it, back off from it, back off from it, back off from it. Your beasts of your planet do it to the point that you call a lot of them extinct when they are not. They've just backed off from what doesn't feel good. And we don't want to hurt your feelings, but that mostly means you. They back off. They back off from the vibrational frequency so that they can maintain their well-being. In other words, they don't confront you. They don't try to destroy you. They don't try to defend themselves against you. They withdraw their vibrational frequency and attention from what is not wanted so that they can maintain their alignment with Source, so that their connection to their broader perspective, so that their instincts will carry them to the zestful life that they have come forth to live, you see. And you are the same.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.